Throw your hands in the air, everybody. The Halloween party has begun here at Marshall's. Now, they are known for their discount prices, and look at this guy. He is only $129. You're going to find a lot of fun stuff here at Marshall's, but then you're also going to find a lot of the classics. Look at this crystal ball. I love the little skeleton hands that hold it, but we have seen this years past, if not this exact one. Certainly one's very similar. I love that swirling misty effect inside of it. One of these days I'm going to have to get one of those to upgrade my own collection. They do have a lot of sort of tchotchke merchandise here, and then a few, like I said, some fun things. If you can consider a really loud Garfield fun that is, I might be getting just a little too old for that myself. Check out the color of the skeleton mug. We're going to see some vibrant colors this year, that's for sure. Is that supposed to be Ursula or just a octopus in general? That ghost with a witch's hat kind of has Harry Potter glasses. I was wondering why it reminded me of Harry Potter. I don't know if that's intentional or not. There's not a whole lot of Harry Potter merchandise out, but we will see a few pieces here and there. You can't go wrong with a Halloween-themed candlestick. I have so many of those at this point. Is this Frankenstein supposed to be a candle holder as well? I'm not really sure. He's got a strange face on there. Definitely not as cute as this little Frankenstein candy bowl there off on the side. And even that little one over there. I guess they have a lot of Frankenstein merchandise, I guess, this year. I seem to remember in the years past, I've remarked that it was hard to find good Frankenstein merchandise. I think maybe there is a movie coming out soon. Isn't Guillermo del Toro making one? In fact, here just off camera, I looked it up real quick. He is, in fact, and it is coming out in November of this year. So we have that to look forward to. Look at the witches. Again, that's something I'm sure we've seen in the past, if not the exact design, something very similar. Hopefully we'll find some new merchandise. It's always hard to tell if we have seen some of the mugs, but I'm almost certain we haven't seen any of those fluorescent green colored mugs in the past. Of course, we have a plethora of dish towels. There is one with an alcoholic beverage right there. I think we're going to see a nice little assortment of merchandise with that theme. Thankfully, I didn't see any of the I'm here for the booze, but it is still early in our tour. Next up, we have some skeletons. It's kind of a mishmash here on the shelf. Hard to see everything, but it looks like they've got some bronze skeletons this year. Honestly, I'm a fan of any color that isn't just that sort of bright beige. Look at this guy, this little mummy holding a pumpkin. He is so cute. I love those eyes. This little pumpkin lights up too. I kind of wish it did some sort of sparkling effect or just something to give it a little more oomph, but wow, he was adorable. Speaking of cute, though, we have all of this pink merchandise. Honestly, I don't hate that ghost with that sort of pink ombre bottom effect. Look at that cat in the back. It might have a little too much going on with the mummy wrap and a witch hat. It's pretty neat. And you got to be careful because these tables were packed. Of course, it is early in the season, so we should be happy to be able to see all of this merchandise as the days go by. It's going to get thinner and thinner, so of course do your Halloween shopping early. If you're looking for any of this pink merchandise that we first saw in Michael's, was it last year? Wow, they have quite the assortment here this year, and it is popping up in all of the stores. We just saw in our at-home walkthrough a few days ago, quite a selection as well, and I don't know where all of this is coming from. Are all of these stores just jumping on the bandwagon because they saw Michael's do something different last year and they're afraid they might lose out on some market share? I don't know. Or is there really a market for this merchandise? Unfortunately, I think I can see how this stuff could be popular with several segments of society. I am not one of them. I long for the more traditional Halloween, but, you know, I'm not too disappointed. I guess any new merchandise is good merchandise. If it brings more people shopping for Halloween, spending more money, making the retailers more money, they're going to want to buy more merchandise and put it out ever earlier. That's why I'm seeing signs for Summerween in some stores. But when does Summerween become Halloween? Because is there really a transition point? It's not like they're going to put the merchandise away. Wow, this guy is amazing. A bit pricey, but he's metal, holding a tray, has an absolutely fantastic look. And look, we have an alien candy dish holder too. Haven't seen a whole lot of alien merchandise in our Halloween offerings, but I'm glad to see it. We've got some cookware here off on the side, some travel mugs and some baking dishes, and even some marble plates to put your cheeses on. That bat's very distinctive. And then over here we've got a ghost in the shape of a ghost, and that's what I really like when it comes to these sort of platters. In the past we saw so many of them that were just like round with the face of a pumpkin or a skull or something like that. But once you put your food on it, you're going to completely not see that pattern or design. So I am always in favor of them being the shape of whatever they're trying to portray. Like these little, I think those are coasters maybe. I assume since they're here with the drinks, there are so many mugs on display. And then of course we have our Nightmare Before Christmas merchandise. Those bowls were kind of pretty. Look at this. Skeleton pillows have been pretty popular the last year or two, but have we ever seen one that was a mermaid? That was different. We have some spider, I'm guessing that's wall decor, and a little fluffy one over here. More wall decor with the bats. I don't know. I assume those are individual. I'm not sure how those should hang. I am thinking of doing bats in my kitchen this year. Last year I did a cohesive theme inside my house. It was all witches, but almost every year I split it up between a few different designs, and I think that's what I'm going to be doing again this year. I wanted to bring back my clowns. I haven't done them in a couple of years, and I didn't really care for how that transitioned from my main party area, which is going to be themed to an underworld speakeasy, into clowns. It just seemed too jarring. So I'm going to do a transition with vampires and bats, going from the underworld speakeasy, the speakeasy of the dead, to the undead in the kitchen. I just think that flows a little bit better. I'm still a little concerned then how I'm going to transition from vampires into clowns, but we'll figure that out one step at a time, I suppose. So if we see any fantastic clown merchandise, I might want to grab that while we're here. There's always going to be great vampire merchandise. I saw some in other stores that will be coming in videos here soon, so you're going to want to stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed. You know, of course, we do like to do all of our store tours to look at all this merchandise, help us find that perfect piece for our display. Look, there's a little vampire dog. But back to the clowns. Do you ever really see clown merchandise in these sort of Marshalls, TJ Maxx home goods stores? Now that I'm thinking about it, not really. I don't really ever think I see that. I think that's kind of a shame too. I mean, we have all of this decorative merchandise, and then we have our clown merchandise, and it feels like the two don't mesh well, but I don't see why they can't. But let me take a moment to say I really love that ghost holding the Coca-Cola can, which seems like it was attached, so I don't know if you are able to take that and swap it out with a different beverage. It is nice to see some animatronics here. But back to my clowns. I don't see why like a old-timey circus couldn't be made elegant. It doesn't have to be all garish and loud and in your face. It could be subdued and creepy. Really love these sort of figures. That one was Egyptian mummy themed. I don't think I've seen that before. Is this TV going to work? Let's see. It almost looked like the face that was poking through that TV was a witch. It kind of had those distinctive facial features and almost looked like it was wearing a hat, but I'm not really sure. Let me know what you think. We've got a Medusa here. Those eyes are very striking when they light up, but I guess they really should because you don't want to look Medusa in the eyes. I have often wondered why there wasn't more Medusa merchandise, and certainly an animatronic would be cool. That was neat, the way that spider moved up and down on that rooftop. Okay, the bright red lips with the vampire fangs is straight out of the stuff we'd see from Michaels this year. Look, we've got a Mickey that's kind of a Frankenstein and the mini Frankenstein's wife. Here we have a yoga skeleton. So I actually bought a yoga skeleton. I know it's kind of crazy, but it was at a thrift store. It was cheap. I bought it. I never ever put it out. It sat in my closet for years. And right now it's sitting in a box of stuff destined to go back to the Goodwill. It's like a revolving door. I buy stuff from Goodwill. I give it right back to Goodwill. I just like to have my Halloween merchandise. Is that too wrong? I don't know. We've got some ravens. You know I love my ravens. I'm thinking of how I can put them out this year. I'll probably put them out with my vampires this year. I know we should be traditionally thinking of bats with my vampires, but I think they're just a little hard to display. I mean, we saw those bats for the wall decors. I don't want to put them on my walls. And it's just so hard to find like tabletop bats. Things will just like sit around looking nice with no installation required. Here's a ghost holding a wine glass. Remember, I said that theme was going to come back to us. This ghost is beautiful. He looks a little, I don't know, crafty. I could see they were definitely going for that ghost that was so popular at Cracker Barrel a year or two ago. But what made that really special was, I think, the hollow face of it as opposed to the big black eyes. See, this is more of the Cracker Barrel style. We've got the phantoms, three of them, I think. They're meant to be holding candles, but they have that missing body. It's just like the floating sheet effect, which I think looks really sharp. Of course, we have lots of pillows to decorate with. We've got some skeletons in coffins. Let's see what else we've got. The skulls on this pillow remind me of the Day of the Dead. I'm not sure if that's what they were going for, but I almost thought about doing that again this year. We did a nice Day of the Dead display outside a few years ago, and I thought I could easily do that again inside. In fact, for a moment, I considered it as a transition scene between my Underworld speakeasy and the vampires. So we have the dead, and then honoring the dead and the undead. I don't know, it all kind of worked in my head, but I am not going to do that this year. Maybe next year. What is this? We have cats dressed in costumes, and one is an avocado. That is definitely not what I was expecting on my bingo card of Halloween decor. It's making me rethink my statement from earlier that any Halloween merchandise is good Halloween merchandise. Is it though? Is it? We've got some Halloween throws and blankets. Honestly, I love those. They're always so soft and comfy. What is this? We have a puzzle hidden behind some sheets here. Look at that design. I like that. Is somebody hiding this so that I can't have it? Well, I'm going to teach them a lesson and put that in my cart. We do have another rack of blankets. Lots of different designs. So however you like to decorate. And how do you like to decorate? Are you one of those people that just puts out everything you own in a blaze of Halloween glory, or do you try and stick to a theme? I, of course, do the latter, mainly because I like the challenge of coming up with a theme and trying to make it work. That's why I change up everything every year, inside and out, try not to do the same things in the same ways year after year. But one of these years, I'm just going to throw it all up and see what it looks like. That'll be my theme. It'll be just like Marshalls in my house. Maybe that will be my Halloween theme, Marshalls. All right, we have some more puzzles. Honestly, I've always wanted to get one of these because I love puzzles for one, and I need a stress reliever from the stress of trying to make my theme work. So this is the year I'm going to do it. I'm going to get one. Will I get it put together before Halloween? I don't know. We have a lot of work to do before we get to Halloween. I know we just passed the under 100-day mark, and I feel like I have so much to do. I'm also doing some re-landscaping in my yard, and I'm trying to get that done before Halloween. Even as I'm sitting here doing this voiceover for this store walkthrough, I'm thinking, gosh, I really need to be out in the yard, especially before it gets too hot. So thankfully, our store tour is wrapping up. I mean, we're making our way toward the checkout lane now. We are in the aisle where we have all of this last-minute merchandise like this. Is that a ghost with antlers? Is that supposed to be like an alien or a slug? I don't know. The green color could go either way. I wonder how many people want to grab some last-minute jewelry or headbands from the checkout aisle at the Marshalls. Are those really impulse buys? I don't know. But where are we going to get our costume supplies this year now that Party City has gone under? And then we have Spirit Halloween that canceled their grand opening festivities this year. They did directly blame it on complications with all the tariffs. So we're going to see how that plays out with the rest of the stores. But like I said, we will be making our way through The stores, I've got a few more lined up for the next couple of days, but the merchandise is still hitting the shelves in most of the stores. So I'm going to wait just a little longer until they get a little bit more out so that we don't have to keep revisiting them in short videos. And instead you get to hear my voice for these 15-minute long stretches of time. But I know you love it. Before we go, I did want to say a special thank you to all the patrons who help support the channel. If you're interested in joining our Fright Club, be sure to check out a link to my Patreon page in the description below. And here we are with my puzzle in the checkout lane, this long checkout lane. But eventually I will escape, and I will see you again soon in all of the other stores. Again, make sure you are subscribed if you'd like to see those store walkthroughs, more DIY videos, tutorials, product reviews, and more. Till then, take care and happy haunting.